Okay, let me put my hair together because I just took a shower, so I don't want it to bother me when I talk. So this is the point, you see, like why there's so much deception in the spiritual in the circle of spiritual people, because this goes back to the video that I just posted, you know, before this one, which talks about certain levels, and then certain people just putting themselves on some pedestal, or you know, somewhere hop on some top, hop on top, and that's it. And then the sudden they're just on top, and they're always on top. They always talk from the top. They always, you know, impress many of you who seek for perfect messengers. You see, I have some personal stories, you know, that I can tell. You know, when we talk about a lot of stuff, you know, when I get really critical and stuff, and you might think that I'm very like this, you know. And I'll tell you this certain example. Okay, I used to walk a lot on the streets at night, the streets of LA, all sorts of places. Why? Not just because I'm a weirdo, you know, or just because I would have nothing else to do. Let's say I had a certain person I was visiting every night, you know, you can say girlfriend or a partner, or you know, companion, whatever, you know what I mean? So it just so happened that the person lived in an area where it was cheaper, you know, to rent a place, but it's quite not a nice place, you know, especially not to walk around at night, because you encounter a bunch of homeless people, you know, junkies, pimps, you know, drug dealers, prostitutes. So I would pass by, you know, on those streets, by all sorts of people, you know, sometimes spoke to some people, and you see, most of you look for a perfect messenger, but nowhere in the whole universe there is a rule that someone who delivers a certain message to a certain person or a certain mass needs to be perfect themselves. You know what I mean? It's a matter of chance, you see, it's a matter of like some kind of design of power of the natural, the power of we can say spirit or energy, or you know, whatever circles and propels this creation, not only this one on the earth, you know, but everywhere around us also. It's a certain design that it's, you know, it's impossible to understand it. You have to understand first this part. It's impossible to understand it. It's impossible to disentangle it to the certain details and say, oh, it happens because of this, blah, blah, blah. No. You know, it happens, okay? It happens that I would go out, you know, take the train, get off the train, have many blocks to walk to get to the person I was visiting and staying over, you know. And sometimes I'll be open, you know what I mean? Maybe a prostitute has a message for me, you know? She's not perfect. Not in the eyes of society, she's a foul woman, okay? Right? But she might have a message for me. I don't know, I might pass by her and she says something to me that she doesn't even know why she said it. And if I really pay attention and think of it, you know, just so happens that it might be hiding some, you know, or displaying some extremely important wisdom for the steps of my life, you know. It might be a pimp. A pimp is known, you know, to be a very foul man in this society. Then a drug dealer, you know, drug dealer is poisoning other people, is mercilessly dealing drugs even to teenagers, even, you know, whatever, whoever he or she can get money from, that's it. The thing is, see, a message can come from them. They can have a message for me. They might just, it's a click, they get something, gets into them, they say something, and even probably if they look back, they say, why did I say that? You know what I mean? Why would I say that? What was I thinking? Exactly. The person wasn't thinking. That's the point, you know. And I might dismiss and say, man, you're a pimp, or like you're a drug dealer, or you're a prostitute, or you're homeless. Come on, man, you know, can't give me a message, you know what I mean? So you see, that's why you're being deceived. That's why you're being deceived. You're looking for nice people, successful, with a lot of money, because they're successful, right? In the eyes of this society, they reach a certain level. They're somewhere on top of some kind of bureaucracy, some kind of order, you know, of this society, you know. Then you have those spiritual gurus, you know, who are like always so kind, you know, always, you know, the stuff I talk about. And in fact, it's so funny because when you really dig into those people's lives, you always find something. And what you find might not be so big, but it's gonna be really disgusting to you and really shocking, because that would be the last person you would expect that from. You understand that? You wouldn't be shocked if a drug dealer, a pimp, a prostitute, or a homeless person, or a drug addict, a junkie would deliver a message to you, and you would go dig in there. You don't even have to go dig in their past. You see them right in front of you. You know, if you have the eyes to see what they're doing, what kind of person they are, you know what they are doing. You know what I mean? It's really, you know, and it won't shock you. It won't shock you if you find something more about, something, you know, worse about them, because you already expect that from them. But someone who is portraying themselves to be all holy and this and that, it shocks you way, way more, because the expectations of their purity, of their holiness, are way, way higher. And you see, and it's unnatural. It doesn't exist. It's a lie. It's a deception. You can say whatever you want. You can say, you know, I'm trying to tear them down or whatever. I don't have to. They're tearing themselves down. You get me? Anyone who knows LA a little bit more, they know that most of the places, if it's not some rich area, things are happening constantly. You don't even have to go to any special, specific places, you know what I mean? There are gangs all over, there are, you know, like all sorts of crime activities going on, criminal activities, you know? It's not a secret, you know, police knows it, you know? People who have the eyes to see it know it, you know? Sometimes it might be on a street where you would think, no, nothing's going on here. Just, you know, open your eyes, open your ears, see the stuff, and you'll know, you'll see who are the people doing certain things, you know? It's very easy to notice. Very easy, especially if you have some practice and experiences with, you know, street life at night and street life, you know, in general, you know, not only at night, but at night, you know, all this comes up, you know what I mean? You know, when you're on the buses at night, when you're on the trains at night, when you walk into certain streets at night, I mean, it's like maggots coming out, you know? And at the same time, police comes out, you know what I mean? So it's always these clashes, you know, between the two groups. So, that's what I just wanted to say, you know. Like, if you're looking for a perfect messenger, you're gonna get screwed, you know, with a message and the messenger, trust me. So don't be picky, you know what I mean? Just think, whatever anyone tells you, sometimes it might sound weird, like, why would a person, you know, say that to me? Especially at that time. Realize there was a certain wisdom hidden in there for you. Exactly for you who feel it, for you who hear it, who catches it, like, you know, it's always a little bit disturbing, you know what I mean? It's not pleasant. You know, sometimes people think, okay, whatever it's pleasant, that's a mess. Like, if you're looking for all these successful people to deliver the message to you, I can dress up very nice up here. I can have a suit, you know, and you'll be all impressed, right? You'll be listening to me more. I mean, whatever. I know certain people who are wealthy, not only rich, and you wouldn't know they're wealthy. You would not know they have, actually, that they even have much. They are far from any stereotype of a person who has money, who is rich or successful. The universe will not make it easy on you for nothing, because that's the purpose of intelligence. Intelligence will always set itself a challenge. So prepare yourself to be challenged. Don't expect something pleasant, because that's hypocritical, you know what I mean? Something pleasant, something that suits you. No, usually the real message will disturb you and irritate you. That's why, because it's gonna get your attention. Sometimes I might be talking to, at night, the street, to a homeless guy. He'll be talking to me some stuff, and he appeared, you know, stinky, drunk, all the stuff, like really, you know, messed up person. But man, like after some time I was talking to them, I'm like, I started thinking, like, this gotta be a trick. This person is not drunk and he's not a homeless person. This is some kind of trick. You know what I mean? You start thinking like that. You know what I mean? You, who's supposed to be normal, and they're supposed to be all, you know, degraded and going downwards and stuff, you know? Yeah, I mean, you know, that's how it goes. That's what it is. So if you're not careful, if you're not paying attention, keeping your eyes open, and, you know, you have these, you're limited to certain, whatever, you know? It's really funny.